there. We're going to bring you an update on this here on World 1. Right now it is 6 p.m. in Tokyo. I'm Monita Rajpal in London.
And I'm Errol Barnett in Abu Dhabi. This is World 1.
There are more setbacks in Japan's battle to prevent a nuclear meltdown. Another fire was discovered in the number 4 reactor Wednesday at the Fukushima Daiichi power station, damaged by last week's earthquake. Officials tell us this fire can no longer be seen. It caused radiation to spike to about 167 times the level people are normally exposed to in a year. That's according to the International Atomic Energy Agency. All 6 reactors are now experiencing problems. They've been hydrogen gas explosions in reactors 1, 2, and 3, and authorities believe there may have been a breach of the containment vessel in that 3rd reactor. Radiation readings near the plant's front gate are fluctuating by the hour, but Japan's Chief Cabinet Secretary says, as we just heard there, it's currently not a risk to people's health. Let's just get you up to date now on the latest developments there. Let's go to our senior international correspondent, Stan Grant, monitoring all the developments and details from CNN's Tokyo Bureau, who joins us now live. And Stan, again, we heard there from the Chief Cabinet Secretary updating people on the situation there at the Fukushima Daiichi plant. Give us the latest that you're getting in terms of what's been happening in trying to get this the reactors cooled.
Monita, it really does swing wildly, this story, doesn't it? Almost from hour to hour. Every day seems to bring a new event. And today we focused very much on reactors 3 and reactor 4. There was a cloud seen, I think you mentioned this, a cloud seen over reactor 3. And that's raised some concern about some rupture, some damage to the containment vessel, of course, that surrounds the core nuclear reactor. And
even with everything the people in Japan are going through, their grace and their strength have been earning them respect, as headlines from the world have been reporting. There has been no sign of looting, and queues for food and water have been orderly. In Singapore, the Straits Times headline is awed by a nation's quiet dignity. The paper says the response to chaos is often chaos itself, but it has not come in this land. The Japanese have aided rescue efforts. They have not distracted police or civil defense with riots or demonstrations. Order has been their weapon. The National Post in Canada says for centuries, Japanese have faced down adversity with stoic resolve. It goes on to say whether driven by culture or Buddhism or Christianity or by the indigenous spirituality of Shinto, the people of Japan have a tremendous sense of community. And finally, the International Herald Tribune's headline, quick rebound likely for a stricken Japan. The impact of the earthquake and tsunami in Japan is unlikely to break the back of the world's 3rd largest economy. Experience with crises has shaped the Japanese ethos of gaman, enduring the unendurable. And there's strong winds, it has been wet and it has been cold. Weather conditions are only getting worse in parts of the quake and tsunami zones. Meteorologist Jennifer Delgado is at the World Weather Center with more on that. Jen.
Hi, Monita, you're right. And conditions are getting worse for some areas. We're talking across northern Japan. They are still dealing with snow and more snow on the way. I want to show you a look at some of the current conditions across parts of Japan. As you notice, for Fukushima, temperature right now -1. It feels much cooler, -6 degrees. Notice that the winds right now from the northwest, again, that continues to be good because that means we are dealing with an offshore flow, and it looks like it's going to stay that way as we go through, potentially even through Friday.
Well, nuclear authorities in France say they classify this accident at level 6. That's out of 7 on the International Atomic Energy Agency's scale of gravity. That's just 1 notch below the Chernobyl disaster. We want to get more of this and discuss the implications of with Professor Richard Clegg. He's Global Nuclear Director at Lloyd's Register. Richard, thank you very much for being with us. As we heard there from our reporter Tom Foreman saying that there doesn't seem to be a lot of communication, clear communication, as to what actually is going on within the power plant right now in terms of how under control things are right now. What can you assess from what you know?
The situation is, I mean, this is an evolving and a changing situation. The reactors in Japan and Japan itself has been overwhelmed by a massive natural disaster. And we're still in the consequences of that at the moment. And it's a human story now, the consequences of all of this.
What you're able to gauge, and from what you're able to decipher from the information that we are getting, albeit might be bits and pieces, how Are things getting under control there, or is it still very much a crisis situation where there could very well be a massive leak of radiation?
Things are not under control. I think it would be, not the correct thing to say that, the situation is in hand. These reactors are still unstable, and
Right, Richard Clegg, thank you very much for that.
Thank you.
You are watching World 1 live from Abu Dhabi and London. Still ahead.
Well, Errol, we want to take a look at what's trending on Japanese social media this hour. At number 3, the Twitter hashtag Kan Okido has been cropping up. It means Kan, wake up. Some people are saying Naoto Kan, the Prime Minister, has been slow to respond to the radiation leaks in the disaster zone. At number 2, Japan's self-defense forces, pictures of soldiers combing through debris looking for survivors, have been splashed across newspapers for days. People are showing their appreciation with messages of support online. And at number 1, the phrase Idano Niro, a top trend on Japanese social media. It means go to sleep, Idano. People are urging Chief Government spokesman Yukio Idano to get some rest. He has been updating the nation on television every few hours for days on end. You will find more of those top stories and a link to CNN's Impact Your World. Thousands of people living in Japan's quake zone face the enormous challenge of picking up the pieces of their lives.
Yeah, our Soledad O'Brien met an American teacher there who's just begun that very difficult task. She walked with him through the streets of Kesanuma, that's north of Sendai, to see what's left.
A walk through the narrow streets of Kesanuma is stunning. The debris piled high, cars crushed and overturned, boats resting on sidewalks. It's a testament to the power of this tsunami.
As soon as I can.
Soledad O'Brien, CNN, Kesanuma, Japan.
Okay, we love you, Paul.
We all need those kind of good stories, Errol. You're watching World 1 live.
Indeed.
From London. I'm Monita Rajpal.
And I'm Errol Barnett. We want to thank you for joining us and give you another look here at breathtaking video from Japan. It shows the exact moment the explosive waves came ashore in the city of Minami-Shinraku. People on higher ground can only watch in horror as this giant wall of water and debris, it engulfs their homes, their lives below.